Hi, it's Fleur here from Little Desert Quilts. I'm here to talk to you about my temperature quilt. So this is the 2023 temperature quilt and you can see it hanging behind me. So what you see up here is the very first row is January, then we have February, March, April and May. Now I'm going to start working on June today. So I record my temperatures. I record them and put them on my piece of paper here. I'm recording the highest temperature, the lowest temperature for every day at my location, and I'm also recording the rainfall. Now, I'm getting that information from a website. So for me, it's connivaweather.com. Now, that is only for Conniva Weather, but you can do this at your location by finding a website that you can use to get your temperatures, maximum, minimum, and rainfall. If you want to do rainfall, you don't have to. Today, I'm going to show you what I'm doing for my rainfall indicators. And if you want to do this, you can, or you can just do your temperatures. Anyway, I'm going to shift the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here goes for June. I'm going to consult my chart and see the 1st of June had a high temperature of 15 degrees, a low temperature of 8 degrees and 0.2 of a mil. Now, I've already cut the triangles. So I've got my June 1st, the highest and lowest. Now, I write with my Soline marker. This is a trio, so it gives me an option of black, pink or white, or I've just got a white marker as well. And I write the date, so June 1st, on the lowest temperature, so that I know which one's the lowest, because sometimes it can be hard to tell. Now, I'm also going to cut I need to cut one for June 5th. So I've got June 1st and June 2nd here ready with the two colours, and I needed the highest temperature for June 5th, which is 16 degrees. So in my bag, it has 16 on it. So I've got all of my bags here. One, can't see it, there we go. Each bag has one strip in it, and the bags are numbered with the degrees. Now we're using grunge for this, and I do have starter packs available. So you get your strip that is the correct width for the temperature quilt that you're doing. Now this is the small quilt that I'm doing. There's two sizes, a small and a large. The large one uses the B template and the small one uses the C template. These templates are from the Conniva block template set that you can only get from Little Desert Quilts. So Conniva block template set is something that I created, and it's a scrap buster, but this is what we're using for the temperature quilt. I've got a rotating cutting mat here, which will make my cutting a whole lot easier. My template, I have a little bit of masking tape, just masking tape, regular masking tape in a loop on the back, and that will help hold everything in place. I'm going to place my template. I've already got a cut edge here because I have cut from this strip before. Just going to place that down, stick it on, move it into the center of my rotating mat because it works a whole lot better there. Open my blade and just cut along one edge. Make sure I shut the blade every time I finish my cut. Just going to take that right off there. I need to nub my corners, so the corners are cut off this template, and that's called nubbing, and that means that everything will join together nicely. I'm just going to double check that I've cut that side while I'm talking. There we go. There's my little scrappy bits. Just gently peel that off, and that just goes into my little scrap pile, which is off the side where you can't see it. Put my 16, the rest of my strip back in the bag so that I know what it is. Now, I've also got the little selvage in here as well, just in case I forget to put it back in and need to find it. And I'm going to put one of these back in because I only need one. Put one of them back in, seal up the bag, put it back in my basket in the right place so I can find it next time I want it. So 14, 15, slip it in there, 16, 17. Okay, so this is going to go with June 5th, but we need to put some rain indicators in. Now, the width of the rain indicator varies depending on how much rain we had. So I need to go, I'm doing June 1st, June 2nd and June 5th that I need to do here because June 3rd and June 4th, I'm consulting my list. June 3rd and June 4th didn't have any rain. They're sitting over here, pinned, ready to sew. So I'm going to do the other ones. Now, I am finding the information on my phone because normally I do it on my computer, but I'm using my computer to film this. So I'm going to look on the Conniva Block Users Conniva Block Users Facebook page, which is where I have put all this information. So for less than between 1 and 3 mils, less than a mil is 5/8 of an inch. So here's my rain indicator fabric. Now I'm going to cut 5/8 of an inch, and yes, that is extremely skinny. So 5/8 of an inch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is just a fraction over half an inch. Now both of the 1st of June, there's one, and the 2nd of June use these really skinny little strips. So I'm going to show you what I do with these. So it's one of those. Now I'm going to cut the 5th of June while I'm at it. So that was a 2.2. Let me go back to my little thing. 2.2 mils, so that's between 1 and 3. So that's 3/4 of an inch. So I need to cut a 3/4 of an inch strip. So depending on how much rain is how wide we cut these strips. Right, put my rain indicator fabric away. So I've got 2 strips. I'm going to put down one first, second, and we are going to start with the June 5th. Now what I do with this, I grab my finger pressing tool. I press this in half, right sides together. So these are skinny little blighters. Now, sometimes I can do this without stretching it. If you think you're going to be stretching it, just use your fingers because you don't want to stretch it out of shape. So you may find that with these really skinny ones, you just give it a bit of a press. Now, I am going to use I'm using 2 different types of glue here because this is the way that I found it works best. I run the Soline glue pen along here in there, and put the lid back on so that it doesn't dry out, and then I press it shut. Because these are skinny little strips and they're going to be hard to control. So just press that with my fingers so I don't distort it. Now this has got to go into June 5th. Those two. Open them up. Now I need to consult my placement chart. So the placement chart is also online, but you know what? I've got the original. So I'm going to have a look at my June placement chart. So there is January, February, March, April, May, June. So I'm going to look at June down here. And June, the 1st of June has to sit. I write June 1st. No, this is 5th. Oh, good thing I checked. June 5th. So that goes that way in the chart. The reason I do this is I want my rain, because have a look at my rain fabric. It looks like little raindrops. And I want my rain to be going the right way. I want it to fall down. So I have to go this way. Now, I grab my Roxanne glue based it. I open the end that's got the little pointy bit. I'm just going to do some dobs of glue now. I haven't used this for a while. There we go. Dob, 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 dob. Tiny little dobs of glue along there. Put my lid on so it doesn't dry out. Stand it up. Now I've got those little dobs of glue. Make sure I've got my rain strip up the right way, that way, so that the raindrops are falling down according to my positioning chart. Position that on there, just let it, that's it. Put the lid on if you like, put the other piece on. Now the reason that I'm using glue, I am also going to use pins. Here's my pins. The reason I use glue is without the glue, there is just too much going on. These edges are bias edges, so you've got 2 bias edges and you've got a tiny wee little strip and everything wants to move. So I'm going to stick 3 pins in this just so nothing moves when I stitch it. And that is how I do the rain indicators. Now let me show you the really skinny ones. So these are the skinniest. These are the 5/8 of an inch. They are fiddly little blighters. And I do find that I just finger press these. So I give them a finger press, and I'm going to grab the glue. And I found that the glue pen works better at this stage, and then the glue based it when I stick it on. You could use the glue based it for here. You could use the glue pen for the next stage. It doesn't matter which way you do it. You work out what works best for you. Whoops, best for you. But I found this technique works best for me. Okay, fold that over and press. Now you might want to put some other thing down here, a piece of paper towel or something, to just in case any glue gets out of the fabric, and then it won't be on your rotating mat or your cutting mat. because you don't really want glue on your mat, so it depends how clean and tidy you are or not. Now, June 1st, consult my chart. June 1st goes actually the same way as June 5th. That way, so my coldest temperature is at the bottom. Again, grab my glue and dab, dab, dab. So I'm going to do this to this one. I'm also going to do it to June 2nd. And then upside down, Miss Jane, that way. Then I stitch them on the machine. And this is why, I write on them. So this says on that side, June 1st. Pin that together, and you can see how skinny that strip is. So when I stitch this, because remember it's only 5/8 of an inch and folded in half, you literally see the tiniest piece of it. So here's one here. See that tiny little bit? Oh no, you can't see it. Here am I showing you, and I forgot I had the camera down. That's all right. It's on the wall behind me. I'll show you. Anyway, I'm going to do this one. Then I'm going to stitch them, and then I'm going to come back and show you what happens next. So I've stitched some of these, and I have got June 6th and June 5th here. So I consult my placement chart to make sure I get them up the right way. So 5 goes that way, 6 goes that way. Flip them over and pin. It's really important that you pin, because if I sew a different side, then it's not going to look right. It's not going to be the same as it's supposed to be. If I've got dog ears sticking out here, I do just nip them off just to reduce a little bit of bulk, especially with the rain indicator. That's just going to create bulk, so I'm just going to nip a bit of that off. Not sticking out that end. It does help reduce the bulk. Alright, now I've turned all these around, so I've got to look at them again. June 5th goes that way. June 6th goes that way. Yep, back to where we were. Line them up. Put a couple of pins in. Then you know which side you have to sew. Always put two in, 2 or more. Don't just do 1 pin, because it can swing around 1 pin. So I'm going to sew that one, and then I'll come back with the other bits that are on the machine, press them. So there is pressing instructions on the Facebook page as well. So when I have got 1 day stitched together, I press to the highest temperature, and that tells me that in the instructions. I always press to the highest temperature. And then when I've got 2 days joined together, so I've got 2 days joined together here, I press to the lowest date. So this is June 1st and June 2nd, so I've pressed towards June 1st. I'm going to stitch this other one and then come back. So now I'm back with June 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th. Now June 3rd and 4th had no rain. It actually turned out those 2 days had exactly the same temperature, high and low. So we are going to look at that and make sure I've got that up the right way. 3 and 4, that's going to join onto there. I've got some little dog ears to get rid of that extra bulk. Now when there's rain indicators in there, sometimes I get in the back and just even take out a tiny bit more out of that seam. Just gets rid of a little bit more bulk when there is so much going on with all of that rain indicator, because that's folded over that strip and it's just adding a bit more bulk. So I take them out a bit. It just helps, especially if you end up with rain indicators coming together. Don't go so close that you're going to compromise your seam. Just take out a little bit more of that bulk, and that will be quite okay. No, that ends all right. Okay, so we've got June 1st and 2nd going that way. June 3 and 4, they join on there. And then this one will join on here. So that is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. So with the seams going towards the lowest date means that they are going in opposite directions. So this seam is going up, that one is going down, going in opposite directions. So we pin that. Again, you need to pin. If you sew up the wrong side, it won't be correct. So I make sure that that seam matches up nicely. I pin through the seam like that, Make sure those diagonals are lining up nicely. And it does get a bit bulky when every single day has a rain indicator in it. And sometimes, especially in June, we have quite a few of those that are going to have double whammies, as in, now that's not lining up, so I'm taking all those pins out and having a good look at that. Okay, I haven't quite got that right. That's better. Let's move it over a bit. And then we're going to stitch that up, and of course after I've stitched that, the first, second, third, fourth, I can then put the fifth, sixth on, and I continue along for the entire month. So I'm going to stitch this and then show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have got June 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 joined together, and this will sit on the quilt. It'll sit here. According to my placement chart, that's where it's going to sit, and the blocks at this end are going to be plain blocks on my June. All the information is on the chart. The chart is on the Facebook page, the pressing instructions on the Facebook page, the width to cut the rain indicator strips on the Facebook page. All of the information to make this temperature quilt is on the Conniva Block Users Facebook page. Now, you're not going to be able to find that Facebook page unless you purchase the Conniva Block template set, and then you get access to the page. So when you buy the template set, these are $35. I add you to the Conniva Block Users Facebook page, and that's where you find all the information. It's under the Featured tab on the Facebook page, and all of the information on what colour to use for what temperature, what temperature, what size. So you got some choices. There's different sizes, like I said right at the start. One uses the C template piece, and one uses the B. So the B is the small one. That's the one I've been doing today. C is the large one. Now my large one is still in strips. I've done each month. Ouch, there's a pin in there. I've done each month and left them in a strip. Now the reason that I've done that is because I have not yet decided what I'm putting on the outside edges, because with this one, whatever this one is, that makes those the same colour. That happens to all be the same colour. So this one, this colour, that's what that's going to be. This one, that's what that's going to be. So that is the way I'm doing the small one. But the way I'm doing the larger one is I'm going to have a background, and I'm not sure yet whether it's going to be light or dark. I'm waiting until I get a little bit more than half of the year done to have a look at it. Then I'm going to decide what I'm going to do as my background. So at the moment, the extra bits that are hanging off, they're pinned on. That's what I just stabbed myself with. This pin. But I have all of, I've got January, February, March, April, May. I haven't done June for this one yet either. But I've done, what's this? It'll have it written on it. This is February. This is February. And you know, they're all here folded up. Each month is done up until May. They're all there. I'm just waiting to decide what background I'm going to put. So I'm actually making both quilts. I'm making the large one and the small one. The large one, I'm not putting the rain indicators in my large version. I'm only doing my rain indicators in the small version. In the small version that you see here on the wall behind me, I'm doing one fabric per temperature. So every single fabric, there's 43 fabrics in this basket. Every single temperature has a separate fabric. The large quilt, I'm actually doing the less number of fabrics. I'm doing a 22 fabric version. So that's your choices. You can do the large quilt, you can do the small quilt. You can do 43 fabrics, so one temperature per colour, or you can do 22 fabrics and then it's 2 temperatures per colour. So this is my template B, that one, and I'm doing the 43 fabrics, and then my template, where's my other one? My template C, yeah, there's my template C page, and it has 2 temperatures. So the first one is 1 to 2 degrees. So 0 and anything below is going to have one colour. The 1 to 2 etc., etc. So all of this information is on the Facebook page, and I can step you through it. So if you're interested in doing the temperature quilt, you can get the temperatures for your location in historical data in whatever website you choose to get that from, and of course you will need the template set. So if you want one of these, contact me at Little Desert Quilts on the Facebook page, and you can buy one of these. You can buy a starter pack for your temperature quilt. So we've already pre-cut the strips. If you're using the small template, making the small quilt, it's a 3.5-inch strip. If you're using the C template and making the large quilt, it's a 4.5-inch strip. It's a work in progress. It's not going to be finished till the end of the year. It's okay to start now. You could do the financial year if you like and start it for the 1st of June. You can start on the 1st of July. You can start whenever you like. You could also do historical. Might be you want to do the year you're born, something like that. And you just need to find the historical data for the lowest and highest temperature for each day, and rainfall if you're going to do rainfall. So that's the temperature quilt. And if you want more information, come to see me at Little Desert Quilts. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the class today. Bye.